When Larry and I first came out to Pinnacle Peak, as we always refer to it that way, we drove up a long hill to the Palmer's house, which was a very modest home. And we later found out that it was still the way it was when K.T. Palmer put two garages together. And we didn't expect it to be so simple. And yet it had a wonderful, huge picture window where you could look down across the desert and see all the plants. They were bird watchers. You'd see birds flying around, and they always knew what the bird was. And we didn't. We were taught all sorts of things by them. Later, when we got the job as caretakers, then we discovered that our home was even simpler than their home. It was pretty much a shack, bedroom, living room, bathroom, little kitchen, sitting up on stilts off the ground so that things could crawl around under the house. The closest grocery store was at Camelback on Scottsdale Road. So we usually shopped for a month because you didn't make big long trips just because you needed milk or something you didn't have, so we did without things, or we raised our own animals. We did pigs and chickens and turkeys and geese and had a milking cow and grew our own food, basically, and we were very self-sufficient. And there was no water out here to speak of. So the Palmers had a well, but it wasn't a very good well. It was a well that KT had put in. Often we hauled all our water. Our neighbors who lived in the same area as we did in Section 31 were two very different artists. Lou Davis was an artist who was very modern, and Walter Bowl was a very traditional etcher, and they did not like each other. So we were great friends with both of them. They both mentored us, taught us things we needed to know, but you couldn't be together with them. It was a no-no. And they had had a number of disagreements involving the road, which they both used. And so you never mentioned one to the other. But they were delightful people and extremely good artists. And I do have some artwork that belongs to both of them that I have been given. I have a really great Lou Davis lithograph in my bathroom. And the reason it's so important to me is he called me over, said, "Ride over on your horse one of these days so I can study your horse's anatomy again, because I want to do some more horses." And when I finally saw it after he was done, he had used me as the rider. Every morning when I take my bath, I am looking at myself nude on a horse. And now this is the real Lou Davis serving as a model for Lon McGargy. Lou's the cowboy taking a bath in the same kind of tub I've got in my bathroom. The longer I knew the Davises and the Bowles, the more I realized that artists are very different people, different from one another and different from me. And they were very confident in their talent and really made their artwork a full-time job. They were always thinking about art. But Lou would paint the desert in an abstract way. You would see mountains and boulders and sun and the moon and the landscape, but it always looked very modern. Although he started his artwork up in Jerome, where his father worked for the mines, and some of his original artwork were of miners coming out of the big copper mines up in Jerome. Walter, on the other hand, had come out from Wisconsin, and he was much more of a traditionalist and would spend hours working on copper etchings that he would then print out. And if he made a single little mistake, it was a tragedy. He couldn't wipe it out. He'd have to get a new piece of copper and start all over again. And he did more of the birds and the wildlife. The quail, the doves were two of his favorite subjects. They both liked owls. Actually, we were given a pair of owls by the Davises, which I had for a long time. And but they were, I'd say their subject was really the same. It was natured. Just one was very refined and the other was very abstract. Same subject, just a different approach. Yeah. Which gives you an idea of the kind of things that people did. It was all about nature. And how could you not want to do nature when you lived out in this beautiful place?